Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking about Pisco. We're going to be making only one cocktail, but we're going to be making it two ways. And one of those ingredients includes being repurposed into an ice cream. That's right, for the first time, I'm going to cook something for you guys. So because the ice cream takes a bit of time, we're going to start with that first. So last year I was in Cartagena, Colombia, and when I was there I attended a cooking class. And one of the things that we made there was ice cream from Lulo fruit. So we didn't actually do this, but what I learned from the instructor is that you can use the pulp from the Lulo fruit in sour cocktails. And right away, a light bulb just went off in my head. Because like I mentioned in the Campari video, I don't like to use egg whites in my cocktails, so a very common alternative nowadays is Aquafaba. So I thought it'd be really cool to use another type of fruit. So I'm gonna Frankenstein this recipe a little bit just to make it easier for you guys. So this is granadilla. This is what the Lulo fruit looked like when we were in Colombia. I just got back from Puerto Rico and I was able to bring back these Lulos. These are a lot more smaller than what we used in the class. So to make it easier, you can also buy frozen Lulo pulp. And again, you can get these at my favorite Latin stores in Kensington Market, either Prola Supermarket or Vita Market. So what we did in the class is that we scooped out the Lulo pulp with the seeds. We separated the pulp from the seeds, and then we mixed the pulp with icing sugar and whipped it until it became a meringue. And then we folded the seeds back into the meringue and mixed it together and placed it into the freezer. And then we served the ice cream back into the hollowed out Lulo fruit. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to measure out the frozen Lulo pulp. You probably don't have to do this because it's just the pulp, not the seeds. If you're using the actual fruit, then you would just strain out the seeds. Just push this through. Okay, and we have about 350 grams of the Lulo pulp. To that, we're going to add 350 grams of icing sugar. Let me just reset the scale here. I forgot, make sure you scoop it at least 3/4 of an ounce or an ounce of the Lulo fruit. We're going to need it later for the cocktail. And now we're going to whip this up until it becomes a meringue. Start off slowly. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so these are two granadillas that I already hollowed out. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. If you're using the real Lulo fruit, you can scoop it back into there, or you can just put it back into a bowl. I'm just doing something a little bit more fancy. Okay, I'm just gonna pop these into the freezer and then we'll get on with making the cocktails. So now let's get ready to talk about Pisco. So Pisco is a really interesting spirit. It's from Latin America, but it's not anywhere in the rum world. It's not even fermented from sugarcane. This is a brandy distilled from grape juice. And it was developed by the Spanish in the 1500s as an alternative to importing brandy from Europe. Instead of importing brandy from Europe, they thought it was more efficient just to make it there. So here's the interesting story about Pisco. It can only be made in either Peru or Chile. Both countries argue about who invented it. Both countries both make it different from one another. So Peru uses both non-aromatic grapes and aromatic grapes. This one here is a non-aromatic one, and they're using the quebranta. In Peru, they use a single pot distillation. There's no added water. There's no aging in wood. They focus mainly on the purity of the grape. I also have a Chilean Pisco here. So this one here, you can tell it has some age to it. So Chilean Pisco, it can be distilled multiple times. They can add water to it, and they can age it in wooden barrels. So with the Peruvian one, it's very nice and floral. It's not super aromatic, but it's got a really nice flavor. This one here, it's very different. It's got some barrel notes to it, but this one you can pick up on the barrel notes, and it's a little bit more fruitier in flavor. So with the Chilean one, you can tell that they add more to it with the aging of the barrels. And there's also some other flavor profiles going on in there. Maybe they're using different types of grapes as well. The Peruvian one, you can tell it's a little bit more concentrated just on that grape flavor. So the cocktail that we're going to do, of course, is the Pisco Sour. So this cocktail was invented around 1916 by Victor Morris when he opened Morris's Bar in Lima, Peru. And it was invented to be a variation on the American sour, which is just a whiskey sour. And it wasn't until the 1920s when Mario Bruget, I think that's how you pronounce his name, added the egg white and the Angostura bitters, which is the cocktail that we have today. So we're going to start off with 2 ounces of Peruvian Pisco. 1 ounce of lime juice. 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. And 3/4 of an ounce of Aquafaba. For context, this is the same Aquafaba that I used in the Campari video. So what you can do is you can put the Aquafaba in an ice cube tray and put it in the freezer. So each slot works out to about 1 ounce. So you can put 1 ounce of Aquafaba in each one, and you can take out as many as you need for whatever cocktail. So when you take it out of the freezer, make sure it gets to room temperature. I've done this before where it got defrosted, but it was still cold, and the cocktail didn't foam up the way it was supposed to. So then I had to put the cocktail into a saucepan just to heat it up a little bit, and after that the Aquafaba foamed up perfectly. So just know, when you're taking it out of the freezer, make sure it gets to room temperature, otherwise it may not foam up. Okay, we're going to give this a dry shake for about 5 seconds. Add in 2 ice cubes. And we'll give this a wet shake. And then we're going to double strain into a chilled Nicanor glass. Okay, we'll let that foam settle, then we'll just set this one aside. Now we'll make the one with Lulo. So again, 2 ounces of a Peruvian Pisco. 1 ounce of lime juice. 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, and roughly 3/4 of an ounce of the Lulo pulp. Okay, now we're going to give this a dry shake for about 5 seconds again. Let's see if it foams up. We have progress. Then we'll add in about 2 ice cubes. And we'll shake for about 12 to 15 seconds. And this one we're going to double strain into a chilled Nicanor glass again. So just like I mentioned in the Campari video, I do like to double strain my Aquafaba cocktails because some of the foam does get caught in the fine mesh strainer. But for here, I think we still have a fairly decent layer of foam. So before we serve these, we're going to garnish with Angostura bitters. So I just transferred some Angostura bitters into a dropper bottle. And I'm just going to put 3 drops in a circle. And with a toothpick, we're just going to go through the center, creating a heart. And there you have 2 Pisco Sours. Let's give these a try. Salud! That's really nice. It's a really nice, clean, simple intro to Pisco. You really taste its grapey flavors. All right, let's try the Lulo. It's not the prettiest drink I've ever made, but that's really good. With this one here, you're still allowing the Pisco flavors to shine through. You're getting a little bit of that Lulo flavor, but it's not taken away from the Pisco or from the drink, which was my goal for this video, just to show you more alternative ways to replace egg whites in your cocktails. If you want to use Aquafaba, you can use any kind of fruit pulp. You can either use Lulo, soursop, I think would be a really good option, even passion fruit. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can go with introducing fruit pulp into your sour drinks if you don't want to use egg whites or even Aquafaba. It just allows you to be more creative. That was a lot of work. Now it's time for dessert. One for me and then there's one for you. This isn't quite fully frozen, but that's just me being impatient. That's really good. So the Lulo fruit can be a little bit more tart, but from the icing sugar, it's really mellowed out. You really get that nice flavor from the Lulo. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it was as much fun for you as it was for me. Hit that like and subscribe button, follow me on Instagram for more recipes, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.